everybody, it's me, Erica, and we are down here just to talk about a few things. I wanted to talk about this Sharon Osbourne story, about all of these things that it's just a list of bigotry, it's just a list of things that she has done or has said to really most either Asian, Black, Latinx, gay, lesbian. She's gone down the list and really has legitimately checked off every single bigoted thing that she can say to one of her co-stars or co-hosts. And the first thing that I thought of when I was reading this story was that T.S. Madison said that they thought that she would be good. She would be somebody that was good for the talk. After reading this, she would have definitely been discriminated against. She would have definitely been met with bigotry. She would have been definitely met with transphobia because Sarah Gilbert, who is a lesbian, experienced anti-gay rhetoric from Sharon Osbourne, Holly Robinson Peete, Leah Remini, even Julie Chen, whose husband was the head of CBS. And he got fired or was let go or whatever he wanted to do, resign or whatever, because all of those allegations. And then shortly after that, Julie Chen, she resigned. She called Julie Chen wonton and slanty eyes. The only person that we didn't see in here that has actually made a statement is Eve. And that's another person that I'm like, where's Eve? Did Eve just remain anonymous? What's up? Because she also said, and I love this article because every contradiction, every claim that she's not racist or bigot or anti-gay or homophobic, they have a receipt to show you where she demonstrated the behavior. She's called Sarah Gilbert a pussy licker and a fish eater. This came from multiple sources, including Leah Remini. This is crazy. It says she has spoken abusively towards the staff for years. She says she never uses the word ghetto and that ghetto is not in her vocabulary. But then they posted a clip of her using the word ghetto or saying that something was ghetto. But what also supports that claim is that when it happened, Leah Remini tweeted about it. So why would she tweet about something 5 years ago or 3 or 4 or 5 years ago? And then today you're saying that that's not true. You've never used those words. 11 sources have spoken up about this different incidents. Holly Robinson Peete, they sent Holly Robinson Peete a cease and desist and told her to remove the tweet, but the tweet's still there. And they tried to say that the only thing worse than a disgruntled former employee is a disgruntled former talk show host. For 11 years, Sharon has been kind and friendly, and collegial with her hosts, as evidenced by throwing them parties, inviting them to her home in the UK, and other gestures of kindness, too many to name. Sharon is, oh my God, this is crazy. I'm going to read some more to you guys because I just can't, I can believe it, but the fact of the matter is that she is acting like she's this upstanding British citizen living in America. I don't know if she has American citizenship, but no, there's too many stories about your behavior. And I believe every single one of them. Every single one of them. All right, you guys, I'm hit you back. I'll hit you back. All right, y'all, so I'm back. I hope nobody's behind me. Okay. So yeah, Sharon Osbourne, there's all of these instances to basically support what people have experienced with her, right? Of course she's denying it, because what do I always say? No one is ever going to admit that they're a racist. Nobody's ever going to admit that they're a bigot. Nobody's ever going to admit that they sexually assault people. Nobody is ever going to be like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, you know. And what's amazing is that Sharon was asking Cheryl, well, what did he say? And one of the things I think that people are coming to an awareness is there is an understanding that racism isn't just about what you say. That I don't have to say, well, what did Piers Morgan say? Well, the fact that he's making dismissive comments and continuously harassing her as if to dismiss her. And we know that the reason why he's dismissing her is because he has a vendetta against her. She was treated the way she was treated overseas because she's black or biracial, a white identified biracial woman. Right? And it's definitely important that as language evolves, that we start using the correct language, because now that we have the language, we know what to say, right? So I think one of the things is assuming that biracial people want to be black or want to identify as black. Some people, like Rodney said on his live, some people are going to be like, I'm black, and they identify as black, a black identified or African American identified biracial person. Like a Kiki Wyatt, white identified. Meghan Markle, white identified. She's going to tell you, I'm biracial, right? You get, who else you could say, honey, is white identified? They don't want to be called black. They don't want to be, and I think one thing that the black community needs to do is stop forcing people to identify with their blackness. Let them exist as biracial people. I think a lot of people have a problem with. Now, what happens is when you are done wrong, because one thing that white people do not do is welcome biracial people with open arms. Black people do that. Why? Because it has been embedded and coded into our DNA to believe that white is better. So when somebody is mixed with white or not mixed with black, or both of their parents aren't black, they're elevated in some sort of way, because they're like, oh my God, something's different about you, right? We talked about, and I don't even want to get in that. We're talking about Sharon Osbourne. Let me get back to her, honey. Let me get back to her. Hold on. Here's the article here. Tell me what he uttered that's racist. That's just because he hasn't said anything, his actions, right? You don't have to be like, oh, that's a N-word, or that's a monkey, or that's a what did she call Julie Chen? Wonton, or that's a pussy licker. No, that's out and out, blatant, overt, that's out. But then there's the small things. There's the little things. There's calling dark-skinned people or black people aggressive when they're not, right? All of those little things that feed into either a stereotype or feed into a way that, or a space where the people have been oppressed. I'm glad they put speed bumps on this street. Girl, use your blinker. What else did she say? Sharon Osbourne is one of those typical people, and Sharon Osbourne is probably thinking that it's funny, right? She thinks that it's funny. You know, you may have been around or may have heard a black person who, you know, socializes in predominantly white circles, and you have those white friends who are too familiar, and they say shit, right? They say shit like, you know, asking you questions that are really, I can't even think off the top of my head, but you've been around, it's called microaggressions. What Karen Osbourne, what she's doing is overt. It's like in your face. And then, you know, people in the co-stars, how is it, or co-hosts, how is it Sarah Gilbert left, Julie Chen left, all of these, Leah Remini left. Okay, Julie Chen, Asian, Sarah Gilbert, a lesbian, Holly Robinson Peete, black, Leah Remini, what is she, Italian, what is she, white, what is she, she's white, what is she, but Sharon Osbourne said that both of them were ghetto and they weren't funny. And then said, we need to get another black woman in here who's funny. I guess that's where Cheryl Underwood plays her role. She's blaming the network. She's saying that she was blindsided. In my 11 years, this was the first time I was not involved in planning a segment. Maybe they are trying to get you out. Maybe they're tired of good talent leaving because we have a racist white woman on the panel who gives the people the blues and terrorizes them while they're at work. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe we do need to get rid of you. Maybe we don't need to have you in on the segment that has to do with racism, because maybe you would have protested so much and acted a damn fool and threatened to quit if the story actually included you. So maybe we need to leave Sharon out, because Sharon is probably going to do her best to dump the story. She says it's an absolute 100% lie. I cannot have anyone fired. And that is not a term I use. That is not my vocabulary. I don't speak like that. The only ghetto I know is Warsaw Ghetto, and I think that's the only time I've ever referred to something like that. But on January 19, 2011, a segment which has been shared where Sharon refers to Remini's brash speaking style and Brooklyn accent as ghetto. And in 2012, Remini spoke and tweeted, thank God for old tweets, about Osbourne using the word in reference to her and Robinson Peete. Sharon, you in danger, girl. And maybe you do need to be fired. Maybe you do need to leave. Maybe they want us. And I'm interested in hearing what Eve has to say, because I find it funny that all of these people who actually belong to protected groups, probably except for Leah Remini, I don't know how she identifies. I don't know what she is. I think it's Italian or Jewish or something. She's white. But where am I going? Oh, but all of these groups of people are like considered minorities, which that's another word that I wish we would get out of, because I just wish it just sounds like you're a minor. It sounds like you're less than, right? But with Sharon Osbourne, I just think that you, girl, you're racist. You're a bigot. And you've been found out. And there's too much evidence to support what people have been saying and how they experience you. So stop lying. You're not going to take ownership of it, so that's clear. You don't want to be held accountable, because you said yourself you feel like you're in the electric chair. Girl, what? I'm sure there's thousands of innocent black people who have been set in an electric chair or been put to death. I believe every word. I believe every word. On Saturday, let's see what she said. She called Sarah Gilbert. And then who? And don't cry and try. Don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. Oh, you're the poor little victim, huh? And that's what happens. And now you're caught, right? You've been called to the carpet while you're defending a white racist man, because we know that white women will uphold the illusion of white supremacy. You wanted to discredit and kind of support what he said. And then they showed an old clip of her talking about Meghan Markle with Eve was on the panel at that time, Meghan Markle's not black, she said. Well, she ain't black, but she doesn't look it. And that's when Eve was like, well, that's another conversation for another day, and we're not going to do that right now, so we'll be right back. So you didn't think she was black. Okay, whatever. And that was Meghan Markle's problem, because what's revered and uplifted in the United States, because so many people feel like if you're mixed, if one of your parents isn't black, there's something special about you. And she's been able to walk through her special little life until she got on the other side of the pond, and they said, hey, they like that shit over there. We don't like it over here. You cannot be in any environment to where you can be a part of the royal family. Look at your mom. You thought you were able to pass as a white woman, or let me correct myself, biracial, right? You biracial. She says she's a proud woman of mixed heritage. Meghan Markle has never wanted to be black. She's never said that she was a proud black woman. So she went over there, got a rude awakening, was being harassed by Piers Morgan because she rejected him and never spoke to him again. So he's been on a tirade for however many years she's been with Harry in the royal family, in the damn palace or wherever they lived, Windsor, whatever they lived. And you were harassing her. So now you get your friend to back you up. And now we're like, wait a minute, Sharon. While you are protecting and upholding the illusion of white supremacy, let's look at your racist rap sheet. Boom, 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 boom. Too much evidence to support these claims. That's how things work. When people make claims and accusations, let's get the proof. Let's show it. Here it is.
Tell me what he uttered that was racist. I feel like I'm about to be put in the electric chair because my friend, who many people think is a racist, so that makes me a racist. How can I be racist about anybody? How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
By calling Julie Chen a wonton, by calling Sarah Gilbert a pussy licker, by calling Holly Robinson Peete ghetto, by calling Leah Remini ghetto. Who else? Anybody else in the group? And like I said earlier, I can't even imagine. Can you imagine if T.S. Madison would have made her way over to the talk and Sharon Osbourne would have done something? I can't even imagine how that would have turned out. That probably would have been Maddie's last day. Or maybe not. But I'm sure that Karen Osbourne would say some anti-trans, insensitive things to her about her identity. When you start talking to people about their identity and making fun of them and using, slurs, you're a bigot. You are a racist. I don't care if you say it in a joking way. That's what you're doing. The same as her daughter, who assumed that because Donald Trump didn't like Latin people, that now you better like them because who else is going to clean your toilets? That's not by coincidence. This is your family. And it's funny that everybody is gone and Miss O, that I heard somebody call her Miss O. Are they making you guys call her that? Miss O? Give me a fucking break. Everybody leaves but Sharon Osbourne. Everybody leaves and they don't know why. Holly Robinson Peete, Julie Chen left, I guess, on her own accord. But she spoke out. Eve, I'm waiting for Eve to speak. I wonder what she has said about it. I'm sure if there's no way in the world that everybody has had some instant experience with her and she just saved Eve from her foolishness and her bigoted language. They went on a short hiatus talking about they're going to do an internal review of the episode. I'm just wondering why it took them so long to come out. Why didn't somebody, I guess it went on deaf ears, because why didn't somebody say anything before that? I think Leah Remini apologized for not coming forward soon enough. or earlier. And I'm surprised at Leah Remini because, girl, you exposed a whole damn Scientology template. You got a show on Netflix. You had a show on HBO. And now this woman, now you're in the face of a woman who is racist and a bigot. And you don't say nothing. Like, I get it now that she's talking great. But I was surprised that it took her this long to have this conversation. This was written by Yashar Ali. I will post the link in the description box so that you can see it's an exclusive. And he performed several, interviews. Though Osbourne has spoken abusively for years with little to no consequence, she's facing significant scrutiny for the first time in her career as a TV personality. The talk has been put on hiatus and its co-hosts past and present air grievances on Twitter, and Osbourne is threatening at least one of them with litigation. Sources say Osbourne has a long history of racist language and bullying, and it's time she owns up to it. The story is based on conversations with 11 sources who spoke to me in 2018 and again in recent days about remarks Osbourne has made over the years. They've been investigating it since 2018. And what a perfect time to bring it up. Remini says she deeply regretted the role she played in not speaking out sooner. All right, y'all. That's it for Sharon Osbourne. We'll be right back.